that. Which fucking one is that one? What am I looking at?
Oh my God, what is this? Oh, wow. Oh, here you go. What did it just do?
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, focus.
Nah, it's still a good one. Oh, we got it right. Oh, it's a bit slower now.
I should have got off camps before I started doing that. Nothing must be electric.
Oh, well. Actually, you might like this one. Listen to this one.
Confirmed. The title is There is No Such Thing as a Crystal, Not Crystal. This is the recovered proofread copy, including the mirror answers. There is no such thing as a crystal. The wild status, recovered final copy, publication state drafted, not confirmed, published. Companion piece, the mirror answers. There is no such thing as a crystal. There is no such thing as a fish. That sounds like a joke until you look at it properly. Not because fish are not real. Obviously, fish are real. They swim, breathe through gills, flash silver in the light, get battered at the chip shop, appear in children's books, in myths, in markets, in science class, in coastal towns, in jokes, in miracles, in nets, in aquariums, in the wrong kind of metaphor. The joke is not that fish do not exist. The joke is that fish is not one clean natural category. It is a human convenience, a bucket word, a way of pretending that a whole messy range of living forms belong together because they look close enough from the surface. That is where the story starts making a bit too much sense. Because there may also be no such thing as a crystal, not in the way people usually mean it. Not one stable category, not one tidy identity tile, not one role, not one diagnosis, not one gender story, not one trauma narrative, not one project, not one social label, not one public-facing brand, not one private self, not one clean little puzzle piece waiting politely to click into the picture everyone else already agreed was the picture. For a long time, I thought the problem was that I could not find where the puzzle piece fit. Then I started to suspect there might not be one puzzle.
Wow.
Or worse, that the people around me were holding pieces from several different boxes, forcing them together on a table that had already been warped by money, shame,
Hey,
family
I thought I had
systems,
a
gender,
constellation.
addiction, class, bureaucracy,
Look at this shit.
violence, creative hunger, spiritual pressure, and the lazy cultural habit of calling anything hard to read too much. So when people ask who I am, part of me wants to answer honestly. But honest is not always simple. I am the person in the room with the phone. At first glance, that is all it looks like. A woman in a room with a phone. A mess, a screen glow, a life apparently being run through messages, voice notes, fragments, posts, drafts, tabs, screenshots, lyrics, survival plans, housing asks, recovery thoughts, project maps, charged power banks. That was how people kept making the mistake. They saw the surface and thought they had seen the system. A room, a phone, a person talking too fast, thinking too wide, feeling too much, mapping too many things at once. A life that from the outside could be dismissed in under 3 seconds by anyone trained by comfort, bureaucracy, or mediocrity to confuse visible strain with lack of depth.
Have you seen this?
But the room was never just a room. It was a command center, confession booth, war table, writing cave, signal relay, emergency shelter, prototype lab, and grief chamber all at once. The phone was never just a phone. It was lifeline, arc witness, bank access, publishing tools, studio, mirror, proof holder, social risk, emergency flare, camera, map, memory prosthetic, and sometimes the only remaining door between inner life and the world. And the person was never just one person in the way the world wanted. That does not mean unreal. It means wrongly categorized. The mistake is thinking complexity is incoherence. The mistake is thinking pressure destroys meaning instead of compressing it. The mistake is thinking a fragmented life cannot still have an architecture.
Yeah, like get out of your head.
I used to think the story had to become clean before it could be useful. I thought it had to stop swearing, stop spiraling, stop mixing science with myth, stop moving between the street and the stars, stop letting the sacred sit beside the feral, stop letting the engineering brain speak in the same breath as the wounded girl, the addict, the artist, the prophet, the system architect, the princess, the survivor, the clown, the witness, the one who still wants evidence, even while the sky feels full of symbols. But that was another category error. The work is not clean because life was not clean. The work is coherent because the pattern keeps returning. Again and again, the same move. Something breaks, something is misread, something gets lost, something gets named, something becomes structure, something becomes art, something becomes a system, something becomes a way for the next person to not have to explain the same wound from the beginning. That is the real thread. Not perfection, not salvation, not branding, not a tidy recovery arc, continuity, the hidden line through the mess. The reader does not have to become me to find themselves here. That is not the point. The point is that almost everyone knows what it feels like to be flattened by the wrong category. Too emotional, too intense, too strange, too damaged, too ambitious, too much, not enough, crazy, gifted, lazy, dangerous, special, broken, confused, brilliant, unreliable, inspirational, embarrassing, hard work, hard to love, hard to place. Most of those words are not lies exactly. That is what makes them dangerous. They are fragments that pretend to be conclusions. A person can be difficult and still be telling the truth. A person can be unstable and still be perceiving a real pattern. A person can be broke and still be building something valuable. A person can be spiritually intense and still need evidence.
YouTube, so
a person can be trans, traumatized, funny, horny, furious, visionary, exhausted, strategic, ashamed, proud, and sincere without any single one of those words being allowed to swallow the rest. That is why the puzzle piece metaphor matters. Because a puzzle piece is only meaningful if the picture already exists. But what if the picture is being built by the act of refusing the wrong picture? What if the self is not the missing piece? What if the self is the table, the box, the hand, the pattern recognition, the refusal to force fit, and the strange little spark that says, wait, this is not one puzzle at all? That is where the ionic mirror enters, not as an oracle, not as a replacement for judgment, not as a god, not as a therapist, not as a flattering machine, not as a machine that gets to decide who I am. As a way of holding the scattered pieces long enough to see which ones belong to which pattern. A way of saying, here are the facts, here is the signal, here is the story, here is the evidence, here is the risk, here are the values, here is the smallest grounded next move. The mirror does not make me real. I was already real. The mirror helps slow the collapse between experience and interpretation. It lets the raw signal become readable without stripping it of life. That is the constructive use of AI I am interested in. Not content automation as cheap noise, not artificial agreement, not outsourcing the soul.
There we go.
A properly governed mirror can help a person keep authorship while gaining structure. It can help a writer preserve the original voice to something respectable and dead. It can help a community see where lived experience contains operational knowledge. It can help a project separate evidence from mythology without killing the mythology. It can help turn a survival fragment into a public artifact, then into a decision, then into a record, then into care, culture, commerce, or civic memory. That matters because the world keeps wasting people at the point where they become hard to read.
What the fuck?
It wastes people in service queues. It wastes people in family stories. It wastes people under bridges. It wastes people in comment
shut up for a
threads.
sec, man.
It wastes people in diagnoses that become cages.
Hang on, I can stop.
It wastes people in creating names, projects, wounds, jokes, errors, methods, songs, records, recoveries, relapses, witnesses, and strange mercies that keep forming and reforming.
Oh, it's about water. Oh my god, I need to. Test of compassion, a fierce local debate over empathy and homelessness. Single neighbourhood disagreement over a water tap has blown the lid off a much larger heartbreaking conversation happening right here in Rocco. Recently, a post by local community advocate Stephen Potts. Oh, Stephen Potts. Gained nearly 900 likes, sparking massive community debate. An unhoused individual used a front yard tap for water, and the internet was quickly divided. That's one of the things I fucking took wrong. Yeah, that's one of the things I've taken. Do you know how many taps there are in Fremantle after business hours?
None.
6.
I understand that earlier that oh no wait, I was saying it to Jared. The first thing I did when I became homeless was buy a tent, set up camp, but
They destroy it,
the
didn't they?
thing, I need water, and that was the thing. Where do you get water?
What I found was there's nowhere where you can have shelter from the rain when it's pissing down rain, a PowerPoint, a Wi-Fi signal, and running water. In the
Fuck
same
no.
time. That does not exist. There's one spot. I'm not fucking saying where it is. It doesn't have running water.
Hey, do you have a stapler?
No, but I'm supposed to deal with this shit. I don't know how am I supposed to talk. I'm not playing by the old rules.
I've already done all that shit. Dude.
Well, I tried to make a difference and it doesn't make it, does it?
Of course not. Nobody cares.
No, it's just to divide us and keeps us distracted from the real fucking shit. Which is actually God's plan anyway, so whatever.
Yeah. I mean, you
that.
fight the good fight, man.
I hate that.
I wish you the best.
Yeah, that's the problem. We're all giving up so much. It's like, I can't do it. I'm not going to fucking get anywhere. Why bother?
Exactly. I'm already there. Although I do follow the news sometimes and local affairs, especially with Fremantle Town Council. And Dad fucking is involved and he knows his shit about the Freo Town Council and everything.
Yeah, I saw the list of fucking connections and logins he's got in his computer, as well as giving me his password, by the way. I mean, thanks for giving me that, Bill.
Yeah, but not really. I'm happy to just stand back and watch and see who actually goes forward and if anything changes. I'm glad to see that the South Beach Dog Beach, the stairs going down to it, they were getting just completely eroded by wind and sand and ocean. They were fucked. They weren't even stairs anymore. It's just another thing. They've been redone. They look pretty good. Stainless steel. Ass.
Oh my god, look at
I
that.
do shit sometimes. But I mean, who is the mayor at the moment? Oh, I don't know.
That's
Fuck,
better.
who's the prime minister? Does still have Anthony Albanese?
God, she looks awful.
Hmm.
Oh god.
What?
So I don't know if she's in prison or not.
Thanks. Your mum?
No. I'll bring up your girlfriend if you want.
I've already, on 2 separate occasions, sent her messages going, I'm breaking up with you. This is bullshit. And I've never taken it back. But we still carry on like I never said it. We both know I did. I haven't seen her. Not at all. She stayed here for one night, like a month ago.
Well, that's the fucking dumbest graph I've ever seen. Look at this.
Ugh.
4 subscribers, 4.2 subscribers.
Mm. Mm. Indeed. I got a progressive ticket for what it was. Oh, that's right. The bread knife I had. Oh, bread knife. Butter knife. Yeah. I thought it was on the bed. Yeah, the worst thing about it with Joe at the moment, though, is she keeps saying that she's going to come around. She's like, I don't do what today. She's like, I will definitely come around today. And I was like, I'll let everyone know it.
Oh my god.
Saying that she keeps saying it. Is she here? No. I bet if you said they had meth, she'd be here. And maybe I don't like being treated like that. Yeah, they come and see me if I can get you meth. Well,
yeah, that one looks stingy. Where's that picture of Chloe?
yeah, ready. Yeah.
I'm depressed. Why am I depressed? I don't need to be depressed. I've got everything in the world. I don't know. I should be ecstatically happy. Everything's going really, really well.
And everything doesn't have to be going great for you to just not be depressed. Shit always sucks.
I'm about to
Welcome to
come.
life.
I'm about to come around.
Where have you been?
Well, on a 3-year bender on a fucking world's most addictive drug with no days off. I'm gonna nerd.